Hey, you guys, Dev here at WeBuyHouses.com, and welcome to the Cash Offer Masterclass episode number 41. I'm really excited about this property today, guys. It's in Arlington, Texas, and in fact, it's right in kind of my neighborhood, my backyard. This is the area where I have bought multiple houses, and I just love this area of Arlington. And so this one's super exciting to see, and I'm thinking about calling them and see if I can get in there and see it in person. This is a cool property. It's at 1099 Tanglewood Lane in Arlington, 76012. Here's the email I got. Not quite as impressive in that shot, but this is a big house. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath house. It's over 3,000 square feet. Built in the 1970s. It's on a cul-de-sac. It's got an ARV of 549 per the wholesaler, and they're looking for 309. I'll tell you right now, this is a $500,000 neighborhood all day long as far as ARV. So they are not far off the mark. And so, man, I'm just dying to get into this one, get into the pictures, see what we have here. Just to kind of test that ARV theory. Well, first, I wanted to show you one thing. Show you where it is. So it's in Arlington, right smack in the middle of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, right off 30 in North Arlington, which to me is the best area of North of Arlington. But I'm a little biased. Having a lot of activity going on there myself. But I think it's in a great area, and Arlington has continued to hang in there, man. If you get a property in Arlington, it's going to sell in a reasonable period of time for close to the ARV right now. There's just still pretty strong demand for homes in the Arlington area. I've set our model up. I did go look at the different sources that we look at, because you guys will remember we are doing 3 steps. Number 1, what is the ARV, the after repaired value? What would this house be worth if we fixed it up? Number 2, we're computing the repairs that would be necessary to get it into that after repaired value. And then using those 2 numbers, we calculate the cash offer that we can make on the property. So today, again, at 309, there's a huge discount on this house. And I think that, just a huge opportunity for us as real estate investors on this one. Over on Realtor, they had it at 538. And, at one point, let's see, blah, blah, blah. What did they have it up there? Almost 600 on CoreLogic. It's down to 538, but still holding in there real nicely above that $500,000 mark. Here we see on Redfin, it's 525, 182. On Property Radar, I found a similar thing. HAR, the Houston area, Houston Association of Realtors.com website, shows the market value per the appraisal district. So the taxing district sees it as 475, CoreLogic 539. And you can see kind of what we saw right there. That this thing's a $500,000 house all day long. When I come back to my model, there's a few things I do to set the model up to get it ready. The first thing is I put the address in there, then I put the square feet, and then I figure out what everybody thinks it's worth. I compute an average, and then I come over here and using the dollars per square feet, I adjust that until my after repaired value is pretty close to what I'm seeing as the average. So we're going to be at 538 on the ARV on this house. They were at 549. It's no big deal. Not a big difference. I think they're very, very close to the ARV on this property. And so just looking at the cash offer calculation, once we know the ARV, we can, here's the basic calculation. ARV times 70% minus the repairs equals the cash offer. So if there were no repairs, as you see here, then we could pay $376 at the 70% discount factor for this property, $376. So once again, as I come over and look at this thing, they're looking at $309. Wow, there's a lot of room there to make repairs to this house. and still be in a pretty good position on your invested capital on this one. So, man, I think we have a very good setup. The only thing that we need to do now is jump into the pictures and see what this place looks like. Now, I do want to tell you something that we realized as we were setting this one up. When you go to Zillow, Zillow has pictures of the house. And we were looking at these pictures and we were saying, man, this is, super nice. Look at that pool right there. Look at this. I can't expand these, but look at the swimming pool and the hot tub. And there we go. There's a balcony on the back that's looking down over the swimming pool and watching into all your neighbors' backyards. That's pretty cool. I appreciate that. And you just look at the quality of the materials. We were looking at this and realized these are the photos from when the property was listed the last time. It was listed the last time in 2007. So it's been a little while, and I think we're going to see that maybe this, we used to have a saying about horses that they, rode hard and put up wet. It's when you haven't really respected something, and I think this house might have taken a beating since 2007. Let's go see. Are you dying to see? I am, because it just is looking like a deal to me. And I'm getting a little excited about this one. I'm not going to lie. I look at a lot of these houses and it's like, it's all right. But this one, man, I have some serious interest in. Now, there is an issue I have with this house right away. I told you guys, excuse me, I watch a content producer named Arvin Haddad. He's the How to Buy a Mansion guy. And I just love to watch his mansion review videos because he kind of takes a lot of shots at them, and it's fun to make fun of rich people and their stupid possessions. Now, as we look at this, what Arvin would say is he'll have us, in the video say, look at this. Can you spot the flaw? And he'll wait about 10 seconds to see if we can say, oh, the ceiling's too low, or the hall's too narrow, or whatever. And he's just kind of like helping people that are looking at those types of properties to develop that skill set of determining, is this good or bad, nice or not, So as I look at this thing, I'm spotting a flaw. And I want to ask you guys, do you see the flaw in the front of this house? Okay, time is up. It's these windows. Look at these windows. That's I don't know if I've ever seen a house with little slits of windows like that. It's so weird. Honestly, if I owned this house and I wanted to put money into this house, I don't know what's back there. So a lot of this would depend on what we see when we get in, and we were in that room. Is that needs to be a window, guys. This house needs windows. It needs these things cut out and thrown away and actual windows put in. I don't know who built this thing, but I think they might have previously worked in like the prison or, maybe elementary school building trade. I think those are very similar. Prisons and elementary schools. Very, very similar design. Am I right? Come on. So let's keep on going. But I saw that right away, and I was like, it's just kind of weird, man. You look as it faces the street, there's just no windows. I think this is near the back of the property, a back porch, got a bunch of junk sitting out on it, and yep, just different view of the same junk. And as we get into the property, we've started in a bedroom, and I can see, right there, just a lot of wear and tear. This house, built in the 70s, sold last in 2007. And that carpet is from at least before then. I think we saw that carpet in those Zillow pictures, and so it's extremely old carpet, extremely old flooring, and it's kind of dirty and used. But The house itself, I don't have many problems with it. It's we'll see as we go through it. It's pretty. It looks livable. Somebody is living in this house now, and I think it's a livable property. There's a big bedroom. I wonder if this is the master. It's only a 3 bedroom. That's one of the other kind of strikes against this house, is that it's a huge house, 3,000 square feet, 3,200 square feet, to only have 3 bedrooms. Now, it does have 3 bathrooms, but still, you would expect this to be a 4 bedroom house and maybe use that fourth bedroom as an office. It may have a room that is a good office, but just doesn't have a closet, and so they don't call it a bedroom. It could be something like that, because there's a lot of space in this house, 3,200 square feet. We do see that we have a Swiftie that's living here, and we're not going to take any shots at that. Come on, we gotta like Taylor Swift. Who doesn't? All right, we're jumping into this bathroom, and I think there were, can you spot the flaw? As Orban would say. I think there was a poor paint choice made here. But, that we had leaves on the wall in a green bathroom. It's just, some people have a very specific way they'd like to live. I've seen this a few times lately. I think what happened there is there was one of those soap dish things on the wall. And if people put any weight on those, they can break them off the wall, and it usually takes the tile and sometimes actually takes a chunk out of the wall. And then what they've done is they've sealed it up with plastic to try to keep water from exiting into the behind the wall there, behind the tub. The tub actually looks pretty good. And would you take a shower in there? Would you? Okay, I would. I think it looks okay. I mean, look, all the tile needs to go. Don't get me wrong. The faucets, I'd like to get rid of those. All that needs to go, but I think the tub is actually pretty good. And we're coming into this room that doesn't look quite so crazy. The wall looks the ceiling looks a little bit popcorny, but it doesn't look horrible. I think if I saw it in person, I would get a better idea of how big of an issue that is. Generally, we don't like popcorn. People don't want popcorn in 2025. Maybe it was cool 20, 30 years ago, but it's not cool anymore. They have flat doors. They're not more modern style doors with, some shape and configuration, molding, you know what I'm talking about. More modern doors aren't just a flat piece of wood. And so that's one thing that you could do to a house that was built in the 70s or 60s. It really brings it up to date, makes it feel more modern, is to go get the doors that you buy at Lowe's now. You probably can't buy that door at Lowe's anymore. I don't think so. But, that's another good example of that door. But, nice closet. There's nothing that looks really horrible about any of this. That's definitely popcorn up there, right, fellas? Yeah, I think it is definitely popcorn up there. And we can see it continues up there, but the bedroom itself doesn't look horrible. The carpet looks absolutely hideous. I think that was probably never a good carpet, and it's certainly not a good carpet after it's 30 or 40 years old, whatever that is, because it looks rough and unattractive. All right, this looks like kind of a pantry type situation, maybe more laundry room focused or something like that. Okay, here's an issue and a big, kind of a big repair. There's something that happened in this shower, and now the shower head's gone, and they just taped up and hid the problem. Said, we'll let somebody else deal with it. So, my friends, that's our problem to deal with right there. We get that house that it probably, who knows what it looks like behind there. It's kind of a big surprise. That's pretty fun. Looking into that bathroom, remember it has 3 of them. That in this one, we see that bathroom, that shower is just open right there. You just walk around the corner and you're in the shower. There's no shower door or anything like that. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I think it's actually kind of cool, but if we look around, we're just seeing that, this stuff might be a little bit old, but the walls and such don't look horrible. The floor looks kind of bad. I'd swap out that toilet, which is cheap and easy. Give somebody a fresh toilet to sit on. Come on. I think this would be more like the master closet because it just looks bigger. It is a pretty big closet, pretty nice size. And yeah, I think that might be the bathroom. This might be the closet, and probably, if it is the master, it's got tile floors. I'm not sure. Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm not exactly sure what angle we're seeing this. That closet might be off the bathroom. I'm not exactly sure. Not exactly sure. But I did want to show you this. Look at that. Oh, my. My, 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 my. I don't know what, like, if people that use something every day and it gets dirtier and dirtier and dirtier and they never think about cleaning it, they're actually contributing to what we see here is the loss of $200,000 of market value in a property by not maintaining it. And that's significant in this case, very significant. You can see how this house wouldn't sell at all close to 500,000 right now. I mean, people would just be disgusted by it. I think at that price point, at 300,000, that looks pretty good to me, man, because we can go in there and fix this kind of stuff up, easy peasy, not a problem. Yeah, I do kind of feel like this is almost like the closet, and this is the bathroom, and maybe that's the shower, and maybe the other closet section was over there, kind of going back to the last picture. I don't want to spend too much time because we're down in the end now. There's that disgusting sink. We're kind of looking into that area, which I think might be a shower. Not 100% sure. But check this out. We're on the balcony on the back of the house. And one of the things that I wanted to show you back over here in the Zillow listing, let's find it. It's right here. This is what the balcony looked like in 2007, and it's what the pool looked like in 2007, and it was pretty beautiful and pretty nice, and I think anybody would like that. This is where that back balcony is today. And so you can see how this house it's lost a ton of value because it hasn't been maintained, hasn't been taken care of. As things occurred, they weren't fixed. And that's really, we have this term that we use in real estate investing called deferred maintenance. And deferred maintenance means, that thing broke. I'm just going to put a piece of plastic over it. I'm going to forget about it. This thing is disgusting. I'm just going to ignore it. This back porch is starting to fall apart. I'm just going to let it go. And then gradually, deferred maintenance is what just sucks the value out of real estate. And if we look down here, there is something I want you guys to notice. If we go back to this beautiful picture, and we're standing on this corner looking down on that beautiful pool, and you can see the little thing that's going along and cleaning the bottom and the sides. It's so nice. And here we are today. That pool is legitimately a pond now with lily pads and completely covered with algae and disgustingness. And so this is that evidence of, what does deferred maintenance look like and what does it cost? It costs hundreds of thousands of dollars if we allow this to occur and happen to a property. Look at that. Oh, I just noticed that. See that bar right there? And we come over to this picture. It's fallen off. Nobody thought to put that back on. It's a hammer and nails. Nobody thought to put it back on. Nobody thought to paint the porch or put a protectant on it or, something to try to preserve this. It's crazy to see it. And, of course, for us as real estate investors, we kind of see it as an opportunity, right? Somebody basically let a house go into disarray or, even did things to, help destroy it. And We look at it and go, oh, yeah, we can come in there and fix that back up, bring it back to normal, and get it back to the after repaired value. This whole house looks kind of like a Halloween house. I don't know what room we're in. It appears to be pink, though. So perhaps it's a bedroom. Not 100% sure. There's a yellow one. This looks big. It looks kind of like a master to me. I bet that is. That carpet's horrible. But again, that carpet is opportunity there, my friends. This house would not sell in the retail market. We talked in episode 40 about what we're looking for, motivated seller with a distressed property. And this is a distressed property. The problem with distressed properties is nobody on the retail market will want this thing, and it may not pass inspection. And let's say the buyer said, we'll buy the house, but you have to clean that pool and bring it back to perfect condition. Well, that could cost thousands and thousands of dollars. So often with a motivated seller, they don't want to put any money into it to sell it. They just want to get what they can for it and walk away. Those are kind of the characteristics of that motivated person, being motivated to move quickly, not make any repairs, sell it as is. And, of course, they have a distressed property like this. So kind of really speaks to some of the things I was talking about there in episode 40. If you haven't seen episode 40, you got to go back and watch that. It's probably one of the most informative videos I maybe have ever made. I really gave away the secret sauce in that video, but I think that's okay. We can tell you how it's done, right? At the end of the day, that people ultimately have to have courage to do this business. Even if I tell people exactly how to do it and I give away all my secrets, it still takes someone that has the desire to do it, and they're willing to take a risk to buy and sell real estate. This house, the other thing I'll notice here is, it's got a couple of floors. We went back to the picture. We're going to see, that section right there is 2-story. So that's probably going up into that section of the house. The carpet is obviously no bueno. No bueno. Paint is no bueno. Look at that. Just never thought about painting anything. Never thought about it. Does have some paneled walls I see there that have been painted white, and then some tile floors that probably aren't up to speed. Now, this is something you guys know I love. I love to be able to see the mechanicals. In this case, I can't tell a lot as far as year or anything like that, but I can see that it's a train. What did the wholesaler tell us? They said no known issues on the Big Five. So for the purpose of this video, we'll trust them on that. But I really, really appreciate the mechanicals and them giving us this view of those things. Now, I don't see a year that this was manufactured, but I do see model number and serial number, and I bet I could put that in Google right now and probably find out when this thing was made. If you guys see a year on there, tell me, but I didn't see a year on it. No big deal. I just love to see it. Here we see that whole indoor stack, and it looks pretty good. It looks pretty functional. I do see, well, it's hard to tell, as I look at some of the code compliance issues. There's no pan under the water heater, which tells me that water heater might be a little old, and, back when we didn't have the code issue of that. No big deal. But I do think this looks like a functioning system probably, and it looks like it's in relatively decent shape. Now this, I don't know what that is or where we are. It looks like a closet maybe under the staircase. That's what that looks kind of like to me. Here we go into the third bathroom. In the third bathroom, it's interesting because here they've done some work. They put this tile on the walls and then mixed that wall tile into the floor. And that actually looks pretty good with that wall paint color. The wall looks like it might be dirty. So maybe it's not, fresh paint. Maybe it needs to be repainted. But I really don't hate at all the color palette that they created there. And they chose this to go along with the old blue tiles that were used in the shower. And here you can see that shower better. Now, on this one, I'll ask the question, would you get in there and take a shower right now? No, you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. I know you guys. You respect your feet more than that. But if you clean this thing up, somebody should clean it. It's just crazy to see stuff like this. I swear, in 30 minutes, you could clean this up and it would look so much better in a shot. But, not only do people not want to repair their house in order to sell it, they don't want to do anything to it. They don't even want to clean a shower, which if you haven't done it in 13 years or whatever, why do it now? But I do think the shower actually seems to be, in pretty good shape. I don't see any cracks or anything. I see a little bit, down here in the floor, but I'm not sure if that's really a compromise or a crack. I don't really see anything in the walls. The house, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't really seen anything cracking or anything like that. This bathroom, which is not bad. If you clean the shower, this is a decent bathroom. Now they put this silly thing here at this light fixture up there. Not a fan of that, but overall I'm a fan of the way that they incorporated the old blue shower with the more modern textures and colors and such. So, hey, they worked on that bathroom right there that was off of this room, and here we see some type of wooden or laminate flooring product. This is kind of crazy because here we are again. That's that bathroom we were just looking at. This looks like the mechanical closet right there, although I'm not 100% sure because it seemed like that would have been wider. But anyway, what we see here in this room, which is a bedroom or a living space, I'm not 100% sure which, but it had a wet bar. And this is an actual wet bar. There's a sink right there with the faucet. And it was definitely being used as a bar. I will say that. And this person might have a little drinking problem. They might want to get this checked out. Might want to get some therapy or something. Because, man, right in that room, they're just knocking down the drinks. And maybe that's why they didn't clean the house. They were just too buzzed too often. Yeah, that's definitely a popcorn ceiling. I'd love to get rid of it. And, I haven't really seen the rooms with those narrow slat windows. Have you guys seen that? I don't recall that yet. And that's one of the things I wanted to see as we got into it was what do those rooms look like when you, instead of having a normal window like a normal house would have, you put in these prison things. It's just crazy. That's probably my biggest complaint about this house. Now, these steps seem to be going down into something with a couple of doors. That picture needs to be turned. It's sideways. But you see it. You see the stairs up and then some stairs down into I don't know exactly what. And so maybe the garage, maybe that, it's kind of a split level, and this is down to the garage, on the back side of the house, and this goes up into that two-story part. That's what I think this is. I think that's garage access. Looks almost like a basement. We don't have basements here in Texas. Another view of that. Main living area with tile floors. Not popular these days. Not bad in a rental because it's hard for them to destroy that. But, like compared to many other flooring products. But people don't generally want this type of tile in their main living areas. They want something warmer. They did some paint on that fireplace, and I think I don't like it. I do not like that. This looks like something that would be in Batman's cave, man. That is weird looking. I do not care for that. I would paint that white. I'd paint the room beige or gray and all white trim and doors. And I think with the white fireplace, it would look pretty good together. I think we're in a dark kitchen right here. And now we're in a lighter version of the kitchen. And here again, we have very old stuff, very flat wood panels. There's no shape or, trim on them or, of any sort. These are just the most basic. Oh, you know what we're in? This is the laundry room. Now, so I wouldn't necessarily hate this so much in the laundry room. And they have a refrigerator in there. That's what kind of threw me off. But now look over here and we got washer and dryer. Okay. Oh gosh, I love these guys for this. Just showing us the panel, letting us take a look at it. There's nothing really here that's going to catch my eye. There's some panels that are really old, and we know when we see them that they need to be replaced, but this doesn't appear to be, that type of situation. Actually looks pretty good. It's a square D. It's a nice panel. Another view of it. There was some labeling going on. I don't know if you guys remember, there's a few episodes ago where everything was labeled perfectly. I thought, it must be an electrician or just like a neat freak or somebody that, always labels everything, all right, so back into the laundry room. Hey, what were those? No, but did we see the kitchen yet? Laundry room, yeah, I think still laundry room. And did we see the kitchen? Because this kind of looks like it. And I thought we were in it there. I don't really remember seeing the kitchen. Do you guys? I don't think so. They should have showed us the kitchen. I wonder if over in the old photos, did they show the kitchen? See, look, isn't it crazy? I think this is that bathroom. I can't make it bigger, sorry, but I think this is that bathroom that was so disgusting around the sink. I think that's it. And it was absolutely beautiful back in 2007. Just, yeah, the house looked great back then. Look at the front door and the walls. And that carpet back then still had life in it, and it doesn't anymore. And that living area, that floor product doesn't look too bad. I kind of like that. Definitely wanted to keep the kid away from the television. I've never seen that before. But yeah, what I was trying to see look, that pool was nice. This was the kitchen. Yeah, they didn't show us this. And that's a little concerning, is in the pictures from the wholesaler, why did we not see the kitchen? It looks like it had a granite countertop and a modern cooktop and vent hood and probably an old but functional oven unit at that time. I'm going to guess that that's not in good shape now, and that's one of the reasons we didn't see it. Remember the wet bar that we saw in that bedroom? They had repainted that bedroom, which is too bad because it looked a lot better before. Yeah, this house was a pretty nice house at one point. And I guess this kind of shows us what this house could be if it was brought back to this condition. You know what it would be? It'd be worth $200,000 more than it is today. This is an amazing example of how deferred maintenance just absolutely destroys a house, and it destroys the equity, destroys the value in that property. It's just crazy. This was a full cosmetic all day long, and I would say full repairs as well. And then I think we saw some plumbing issues. I'm going to put, let's see if I was at 0.5. Yeah, I'm going to say 0.5 at least. Didn't really see roof. The HVAC looked good, but it looked old. I'm going to put 0.25 on the HVAC. It is a pretty old unit. Doesn't surprise me at all if it's still working, because it looks okay. But it definitely was, near the end of life. And I think that could have been true for that water heater also, which is, another $900 or so. So I need to have a little coverage for that, in case there's something wrong there. Now, if we consider our budget for repairs on this house at $65,000, for a house that's, functionally good, this is a pretty good budget. But it's a very big house. It's 3,200 and 4 square feet, that's really, making this budget so large. When I say full cosmetic or general repairs, that, it's $10 a square foot, just for the cosmetic. You can see that calculation right there. So yeah, I think that is about right. 65K on the rehab budget, and we're at 311. They're wanting 309. I think this house is priced right. I think the ARV is right. I think this is a great opportunity to bring a house back to its former glory. And so, man, I like this one, you guys. I really do. I think I'm gonna call them and go see if I can see this house, because this is right in my sweet spot of Arlington, Texas. All right, guys, that's what I have for you today. I know this is maybe have gone a little long. I got a little chatty. I just loved seeing this house. I hope you did too. I love comparing the pictures of it now to comparing the pictures of it back in 2007. Wasn't that interesting? Yeah, definitely with that pool. That pool was just like, we just got a corner of that pool in that one shot where we could see it. And I think they were hiding that from us. I think they were hiding the kitchen from us. If we get in there and we find that the kitchen is completely destroyed, or in horrible shape, we're probably going to have to go to, say, a 1.25 on the cosmetic, which would take us down closer to 300, but give us a pretty significant rehab budget on the property. I think that's about where this one is. I really do. So that's it for today. I hope you're enjoying the Cash Offer Masterclass. If you didn't catch it, go back and look at episode 40 I just put out. Episode 40, we really get into the secret sauce of how we find motivated sellers and distressed properties, the properties that we can get a deal on and add value to and bring back to their former glory and make a profit along the way. That's what we want to do as real estate investors, kind of restoring neighborhoods one house at a time. That's the way I feel about it. So that's that, guys. If you want to get the calculator, go to cashoffermasterclass.com, click on the button. You can search Google and YouTube for Cash Offer Masterclass and go right to the content. So I want you to stay connected with us. And the most important thing you could do in that regard is subscribe to the video, or subscribe to the channel, so that we can stay in touch and get you notifications and all that kind of stuff. So that's the number one way you could help us build the channel. And we are growing. We're approaching 500 subs. I think we're like 450 right now. So that's pretty exciting. This community, we just really started this at the beginning of September. So it's just a couple of months in, but we're growing. We're starting to see a community that's coming together. And I just want to say a special hi as I leave to the 1% Club. Those are the 1% of you that I think make it to the end of these videos and even care about my little chit chat at the end. Man, you're the person I'm building this channel for, creating this content for. I want to teach thousands of people how to do this. That's my motivation. And then I want those thousands of people to bring me opportunities, bring them to WeBuyHouses.com. We've got hundreds of real estate investors, real cash buyers that can take those properties. You can make a profit. They make a profit. Everybody wins. Guys, that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you tomorrow.